Hello everyone, my name is Dorian and welcome to another track guide with the F3. We are at Road America. Sigh. Finally we can breathe a little bit after Belle Isle. It's been, and Zolder. It's been a very tricky couple of weeks for F3 drivers here. And finally we got a little bit of straights, we got a little bit of runoff. We can make more mistakes now without totally finishing our race. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna definitely drive here this week. Took a little vacation, now I'm back. And I'll tell you what, I've tried VRS setup and I've tried the iRacing baseline setup. I can already tell you VRS setup is much faster here. Now the reason it's faster is the amount of rotation it has in the corners, but it has more downforce and therefore is pretty much a lot slower on a straight line. So I've taken the baseline setup and I've tried to kind of find a halfway point. I've added some downforce to it. I've reduced some grip from the back and kind of made it so it won't be as fast as VRS, but it'll be a hell of a lot safer, and you'll be much safer, much faster on the straights. So what that will give you is a good opportunity to overtake when it's safe, not into the corner, but basically on the straights while drafting. You'll be able to completely clear people who are running VRS setups on the straights, or I don't know, if other services run the same sort of thing, then yeah, that's what you'll be able to do. The lap times are, I would say, we're around 2-3 tenths slower on average, but as the car is safer for the duration of a race, it might be faster overall. You'll make less mistakes. So, you know, give it a try, see what you think. Either way, on my Discord channel, there'll be Get Good Sundays now, where every Sunday, 9 p.m. GMT, we meet up and host a session for 2 hours. We're gonna do that this Sunday, and every Sunday you can jump in and, you know, have a bit of fun, ask questions. I'll be in chat, and, you know, get some practice in before the official races. Also, we have a new thing called Stop Your Slowness Saturday. This is a brand new concept suggested by Steiny, one of my mods, and basically says, you guys send me a lap and I'll analyze it in a video. So I'll tell you where I think you could do better, where you think you've done well and you should maintain what you're doing, and, you know, maybe give you guys some tips how to get a little bit faster, how to work around your main issues. It's not a guarantee that you'll become faster, and therefore the name is pending and definitely might change. But if you want to, you know, get in on that, definitely jump over to my Discord as well. That's where you'll find the setup. That's it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Hop over to my Discord, as I've said. That's it. I'll show you guys the lap real quick, and then we're gonna go over it corner by corner. See you on the track. Okay, so we're coming up to turn number 1. Let's look for a braking point. Now, it's going to be right at the 1 cone. Right before it, actually. Let's say right around here is when I'm going to start braking. And from 6th into 4th, 60% peak. I'm not going to stay on for too long. I'm already starting to release it right now as I start to turn in the car nice and gentle. I'm not trying to shove the car in too early. I'm just trying to prepare the left side of the car to get some load on. And then I'm going to ask it for more and more. The turn-in point is just before this curb, but you're not really looking at it. You want to be looking at the curb on the inside. Trail braking into it, as you can see, complete release. Maybe another dab of the brakes before I go back to the power C. Just a little bit to make sure I'm clipping it nicely. And as soon as I got my front right on it, back on the power very aggressively. So from this point on, I'm committed to 100%. Now, colder tires, warmer track, be more gentle, a little later on the power here. That will suit you nicely. Letting the car kind of understeer. That's the nature of this setup. You get a lot of rotation without power and a lot of understeer under power. That's just to keep the car stable. So you really have to lean on it a little bit. Tire wear is fine, but you want to be ready for that. Kind of adjust your driving style. I try to mitigate that, but that's how the car wants to run. Yeah, so getting all the way to the curb on the outside, about halfway through with the car, and straighten out the wheel completely. You don't want to do any more than that. You don't want to clip it any more than that. You will beach the car. You lose some speed. Now, turn number 2, same sort of technique. So we're going to brake right at the 1.5. We got this white line. That's my indication. As soon as I get a good visual on it, I'm going to start braking usually. Again, 60% peak. Downshifting to 3rd, already starting to release it as I initiate a little bit of turn in, not much, trying to use all of the track available to me. And we got this concrete barrier on our left. We're going to use that as an indication to turn in. I mean, you're not looking at it, but just so you know, just so you have a reference. Trail braking into the curb, trying to find it early and use it to get some more rotation out of the car. So as soon as I know I'm about to hit it, 50% power. Squeezing it to 70. This one's a little more gentle because the corner does have a tendency to shut in on you. So I'm letting the curb give me some more rotation before I commit to 100%. And as I do, I open up the wheel, let the car run wide. A little correction, making sure I'm not running too wide here. Any more than that, the car will get beached, get upset, and you might lose some straight line speed. So I'm trying not to clip it too much. Again, about half the car on the curb. Immediate upshift into 4th. Going to the inside, taking a nice short route, and looking for our next braking point. It's going to be the 2 marker. Let's see how close to the 2 marker that will be. I'm thinking right on it. So as it disappears from our field of view, yeah, that's when I'm starting to brake. Again, peaking at 60%. You can try to peak more than that. The problem is you're going to overheat the front tires, and you're not going to have enough energy in them to turn in the car as you reach the corner. So I'm trying to brake maybe a little bit earlier than I have to, just to make sure I got enough energy and I can carry that mid-corner speed just fine to get that turn in. Staying on 60% for a little while longer on this one. It's a big braking point. Going all the way from 6th into 2nd. And I'm going to start to turn in as late as I dare. So right around here is when I like to start to turn in. And with that, you're going to see more and more release of the brakes. Trail braking into the apex. I'm looking to clip it nicely. Car kind of neutral. It's very hard to... technically, you don't want to have a neutral car. You want to be on the brakes and on the power immediately. And because it's such a long braking point, it's very hard to calculate. So sometimes you will have to run neutral here just to maintain the speed into the apex. And as I clip it nicely, back on the power, 50%, squeezing it nicely. And as I open up the wheel back to 100%, using all of the road on the outside, all of this curb, not a problem. In fact, you want to use it because if you stay on the left here, keep that in mind if you're overtaking someone. It's a pretty nasty bump. It's gonna upset the car a little bit. So if you're overtaking someone, try to be all the way to the left on the exit. Now, looking for a braking point here. There isn't one, really. I'm kind of doing it by feel. You got the end of the radical sign, but every field of view is different. But at the end of it, that's when I'm gonna start braking. The colder the car, the warmer the track, the earlier you need to brake here, because the idea will be to make sure the car is slowed down enough after the crest. As it finishes, you'll be able to start to turn in, because you don't want to start to turn in before that. The car is very unstable. It changes altitude and rear end gets light. You can lose the rear end. And the amount of braking I'm using, I would say, is 40%. Yeah, something like that. 35-40%. Very short period of time. Already releasing it to around 30. And I'm going to start to turn in quite late as the crest kind of ends and the car straightens out. Releasing the brakes completely. Just a dab of the brakes. Trying to carry the speed. And as I hit the curb back on the power, around 50% at first, and as I can see, I'm safe back to 100%. Car is very stable under exit here. That's a good thing. It's kind of unstable on the entry, so you get a lot of rotation down early, and then you can slam it back to 100%. That gives you a lot of time here. Flat out, nothing special about it. Just, try to be as smooth as you can, not to scrub off the tires. And reaching for the next braking point. It's the 2 marker, so we're going to brake right before it. 2.3, let's say. Right around here. And peaking at 60%. Don't want to do any more than that. Downshifting all the way into 3rd. You want to do 2nd on the first lap here. Maybe on the 2nd one. And after that, start doing it in 3rd gear. Our turn-in point is this white marker. The 1 sign, basically. That's when we'll start to release the brakes and ask for the car for more and more turn-in. Trail braking into the apex. You want to stay on the brakes for as much as you can before you go back on the power here, because you want to get that rotation done early, and you want to clip this curb on the inside. You want to put your left side of the car on this part of the curb. It sucks you in. It's cambered heavily. So once you put the wheels on it, it's going to suck you in, give you a lot of rotation, so you can be very aggressive on the power, which is good because you're gonna need a lot of speed on the next couple of corners. And already back on the power at this point. You can see I got a lot more road to use if I really want to. Use this curb on the way out. So potentially there's a little bit more speed here. Now there's a billion lines to take the carousel. This is mine, I guess. So I'm gonna take the car from the middle of the track, and I'm gonna stay right around the middle of the track as a double apex. This will be my first apex, this area. And as I reach it, I'm going to start lifting. 4th gear, by the way. Around 50% lift. And as I go back to the power, around between the first and the second apex, the halfway point, going back to the power and upshifting, short shifting into 5th. Short shifting into 5th, about the halfway point of this corner, will really help you put the front end in check and be early on the power. That means it won't, the RPM will be lower, the car won't push as wide, and you'll be able to stay flat out for a longer time. The car has surprisingly a good amount of torque, so you can use 5th and short shift out of this corner. It ran me a little too wide. Technically, I want to stay here. I want my right side of the car to be somewhere adjacent to the beginning of this curb. This is my second apex, so to speak. But plenty of downforce, the car kind of settled down, and we used all of the track. I might have lost about a 1/10 by not staying on the inside. Might have been a little too greedy on my return to the power. Flat out here, nothing special. Just stay nice and smooth. And we want to take a short route on this first corner, where we're going to stay, and then we're going to go wide. The reason I'm going wide here is to set myself up very easily for this braking point. I want the car to be as straight as possible. If you're trying to carry it from the inside, what you'll have is a car that isn't straight on a very, very difficult braking point. You want to be as straight as possible. You should kind of compromising a little bit. Braking, I would say the 2.5. This is my braking point. Warmer track, older tires. Maybe a little bit before that. Maybe just after the 3. Especially if you're drafting. This is the highest peak we've had the whole track, so around 65, maybe almost 70%. And I'm gonna stay on it for a while because I really need to slow the car down. I braked quite late. The 1 sign is our turn-in point, So as we hit it, we're going to start to rotate the car and release more and more of the brakes. Third gear here, you can use third even with cold tires, just got to be a little slower on the entry. Looking for the curb on the way in, and as we hit it, back on the power. Pretty aggressively, all the way into 70%, and squeezing more and more out of it. A little bit of hesitation, a little bit of, just trying to figure out where the grip is. I don't want to understeer too much. But as I know I'm safe, back on the power. Using all of the curb on the way out, you want to put your left front right around here at this point. That's how you know you've taken the correct line through here. Any more than that, it's an off check. You want to try to avoid it. Sorry. And yeah, so turning in early here, fourth gear. Very easy corner technically for this car, but if you turn in early, it's going to be even easier. You want to clip the curb on the inside just a little bit. Make it nice and easy for yourself, and you're through. Definitely avoid this part of the exit. It's going to really upset the car. It might cause some floor damage as well. Braking point here. It's kind of tricky. It really changes according to the track conditions, whether you're drafting or not. The setup that you're using, everything really changes here. So I'm going to brake right around here, which I would say is quite early. Got this white line. You got this yellow sign here. This is sort of the beginning of my braking point. Braking diagonally to the outside. You can't brake too strongly here. 60% or 55% peak for a very short period of time, and already starting to release it. I need to make micro adjustments with the wheel. I can't slam on the brakes. I'll start to lock up. Letting the car go wide, using the curb on the outside, and that will signal me that I'm gonna need to start to turn in the car. So as I hit it, I'm gonna start to turn in nice and gently. I'm not trying to turn in too sharply. Already releasing into trail brakes. And as I can see, I got rotation. Then ask for more and more from the car and go back to the power very early. You want to be as early as you can on the power here without understeering on the exit. You're using the curb and maybe even a little bit of the grass. Give you rotation on the exit. And the car just flies through here. Third gear, up to fourth just now. Using the curb on the way out. And you're through. That will give us a 158.161. Hope you guys enjoyed this track guide. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Hop over to my Discord. We have Get Good Sundays. We have Stop Your Slowness Saturdays. All kinds of events and special things we have going on the channel. You'll also be able to find the setup that I've made for this track. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.